Welcome to Slow and Steady, a podcast where you get to follow along as we figure out how to build and run a SaaS. I'm Brian.
And I'm Benedikt. Each week we'll give you an honest peek into our lives as we work on our products. No, sorry. And I'm Benedikt. Each week we'll give you an honest peek into our lives as we work on our products and keep the lights on by investing in candles. Today is May 19th and I'm in launch mode.
This is episode number 42, and I am feeling unstuck.
Today's episode is sponsored by Nodewood. Are you thinking about starting a new SaaS business? There's a lot of boilerplate code that you need to write just to get started. Nodewood is a SaaS starter kit that takes care of user authentication, subscription management, and other common cases that you'd rather not waste your time on writing. Visit nodewood.com/slowandsteady for more information and to sign up for a 20% discount when it launches.
I need to take a look at that. I have subscription notes in my to talk about stuff, so that's interesting.
Let you check it out.
I'm curious to take a look at it. Is it in the vein of bullet train, that sort of thing? You get like kind of
I have a feeling like
out of the box.
From what I understand, it's similar. Like it's a ready-made based product, and then you can just build on it. I think it's built in Node.js.
Okay. Cool.
So
hello, duh. Yes, Brian.
similar idea, different language and different frameworks. But yeah, look,
no, that's great.
Probably good boilerplate to start off from.
Yeah, it does make complete sense. I mean, the great, innovations of things like Rails, and then following behind it, Laravel, is it comes with all of these things that you're going to use. So just start with that, and then to put a starter kit like this on top of it. Well, you're also going to have a user model. You're going to have subscriptions. You're going to need to have et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, makes sense. It's interesting.
And it's always always the same things that you start building for all those tools.
Exactly.
So it makes sense to just unify them at some point.
Just start with it. So what are you up to? You're investing in candles?
Yeah, I don't know. They keep the light on.
Jeez. All right. I get it. I thought that you meant you I think in the back of my head, I was waiting on the backstory that you had lost electricity, at some point during the week. And so you and your girlfriend started creating candles, and then you thought this is a great idea and you're going to build and launch that business. But no, it was a joke.
No.
Okay, cool.
It was mostly intended as a joke. We did talk about starting a pet sitting business yesterday.
Yeah.
Because we have a little shelter foster bunny around the house for the next 2 weeks. So the idea came up yesterday that maybe we should do this as a business, but turns out not a good business.
You need to have a lot of animals in the house for that to work, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you say foster bunny?
Kind of, yeah. It's a friend of my sister's has a bunny already, and she got a second one, and uniting them didn't go that well.
Oh no!
Apparently they started fighting and stuff. So bunny had to go somewhere for the next couple of days until try number 2, and we volunteered to. Well, awesome. I volunteered to share my office with a bunny this week.
Right. Cool. So they're going to give it another shot to try to reintegrate the 2 bunnies. Is it in a cage, or is it just hopping around in your office?
We built a little cage with just like the little metal fencing, and it's basically got a PVC floor, and put a fence on there and put the bunny inside, and it's making a mess, to be honest. And there's already like little fur fluffs flying around the office now, but we'll be fine.
Does it make you want a bunny full time? Is there any chance that you're just going to be the one to take it over?
I think that's my girlfriend's secret hope. but I don't think it's a good idea.
Probably not in the cards for you.
Nah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
got it.
I mean, it's not like we don't have a lot of room. Like there's plenty of space here, but I wouldn't know where to fit a bunny. Like it's not they they need a little bit of space, and I don't know this office situation. I mean, it works for now, but doesn't feel like a permanent solution.
No. Gotcha. Hey, I got an email about an hour before we started recording that in-app messages from Userlist is on Product Hunt.
Yeah, it is. It's finally out there.
Congrats.
I'm so glad. And the funny thing is, like 10 minutes before we started recording, I get an email or a message on Slack from someone with a screenshot showing a test message they sent to themselves, and it has weird scroll bars in it that aren't supposed to be there. So all that testing over the last couple of weeks didn't help to fix all the issues. So next thing, either later today or tomorrow, I'll go back in there and fix stuff.
Good. Does it? Are you worried about it? Like, does it feel like, oh, I don't have any idea why that's happening? That's annoying, or I'll.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't have a good idea on how to fix it right now. But I mean, it's Firefox on Windows apparently shows scroll bars even when they are not scrollable. So have to figure out how to get rid of that. I hope this is a solved problem.
Firefox on Windows also feels like less urgent than Chrome on Mac OS.
I don't know. I mean, it depends on the customers of our customers what they use. So,
but as a percentage, you're able to. I mean, you want to get it fixed. Yes, I'm not saying don't fix it.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely not a hair on fire issue. Yes. I mean, it's just a scroll bar that's there that shouldn't be there, but it's not like it doesn't work at all. So, yeah, should be doable.
Good luck getting it sorted. Hey, so what do you? I'm curious what your setup is for debugging Windows. How do you approach that?
I don't have a dedicated setup for that yet, but we have at least one Windows machine in the house, so I'll probably just take that and do some testing on there.
Okay, all right.
But to be honest, I don't do that often enough to be really sure. Like, we probably would have spotted this issue if we had taken out the Windows machine and just dabbled around with it in there, but. Yeah, didn't even occur to me until today.
I feel like a couple of years out of date on this. As far as what is the best approach that people are taking right now? I used to have multiple virtual machines installed through VirtualBox, and so I would be able to spin up like multiple versions of Internet Explorer through that.
Yeah,
I was curious if that's still that's the way you got to do it, or if there are better solutions out there in the market right now.
Sometimes when it comes to really weird stuff that only happens on specific browser versions, like old IE 11 whatever, I sometimes use, what's it called? I think one of the tools is called Source. And that's basically a browser-based environment where you can spin up virtual machines of older browsers and then control them via the browser and click around in them. And I think the other one is called Browser Frame or something like that. So it's similar idea. Browser Stack might be, I don't know, like something like that. And I think the original idea of those tools is to basically provide environments for automated testing, but they, like, some of them also have like nice GUIs on top of them, so you can just mouse around in them and click on it and open the inspector. So yeah.
Yep. Cool. Anything else happening at Userlist? Was most of your time put into
today was mostly related to the launch, preparing for the launch. pre-writing tweets that we send out, planning the emails that we send out, stuff like that. And overall, we're just happy to have it launched. Someone asked this or hinted at this on Twitter, that it's been a long time that we've been working on this, and I, inspired by that, I checked, and it was April 23rd when I first shared a working prototype of, like, last year, 2019, April 23rd, when I last when I sent the first working prototype of what in-app messages could look like to Jane and Claire. So it's been over a year that we've been dabbling with this and thinking about doing this. But admittedly, there was a period in there where we decided, okay, let's focus on launching first before we add another feature. So net time was probably not an entire year, but still, it's I'm glad it's out there and it's somewhat done, even though scroll bars on Firefox on Windows are still showing up.
Sure. Yeah. No, and I remember when talking about this back in like the late fall as well.
Yeah.
But it's not, I mean, obviously you have not been working 40 hours a week on in-app messaging. It's totally not fair to say it took even, 4 months to launch it. Because your time is split across so many different things. So I'm curious though, how do you feel about saying that the first prototype I shared was in April, and we also really kind of started really digging into it, late last year. Like, that's just how it goes for a complicated feature, or are you trying to think through how are you thinking about it?
I think once we fully focused on it, or I fully focused on it, building it, it went pretty fast, or relatively fast. Once I was full time on it and we made a deliberate decision, this is the thing we'll focus on, we do nothing else feature wise, then it didn't take so much time anymore. But yeah, overall, we shouldn't have started talking about this a year ago in public, because that side is a little bit embarrassing, to be honest.
Well,
but then again, I mean, that's how it is.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, I think that's what I was just curious how, if you consider it to be something that was kind of like messed up in the process, or, well, no, it's been in progress for a while because we've also shipped this feature, we made this improvement, we had to handle emailing, putting out a couple of like changes to your email provider, all that sort of thing. It's just it's so hard when you're a development team of one.
Yeah, that's true. It's just a lot of stuff that takes the attention away. And also, I mean, in theory, we could have launched this back in March, but in hindsight, it's probably a good idea that we didn't do it, because in March, it was all about COVID and everyone freaking out. And I think our initial planned launch date was basically in that first week when things start blowing up, and launching in that week would probably be not a good idea anyway. So
it would have been it would have gotten lost and come across as tone deaf both. Like, there's no no reason to have done that at the time.
So that basically just delayed everything by a couple more weeks, 8 weeks or so. And I mean, it's not great. I mean, launching it earlier would have been nice, but then again, it's not a big deal, I guess.
Well, congrats. Are there were there people or customers along the way who are you going to be you and Jane personally reaching out to some folks to say, hey, this thing you asked for, we're adding, or no, this is just going to be a big marketing push, hopefully it will attract some new folks, or is there going to be some direct outreach as well?
We'll probably do a little bit of direct outreach, at least to those people who churned because of not being able to send in-app messages before, or some people said they will sign up when in-app messages are available. Fingers crossed that's actually true. We'll
yeah,
see.
of course.
To be honest, like we talked about this yesterday, we don't feel as excited about in-app messages anymore as we felt about them a year ago when we decided to do this. But that's probably also related to just being working on it for a long time. And
Right.
yeah, by now it's we built this thing, it's working, it will be fine, and not this is a cool thing, it blows our minds type of feeling. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, we still hope that it has some marketing effect or like effect on signups, but to be honest, I don't think it will be a huge, like it will not cause a huge influx in new customers probably.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see. Just curious. Any more data on the new the $9 starter plan?
I haven't looked at it yet. Like it's not like people are storming into the product and giving it a try. But yeah, we should probably do a proper reviews in 2 weeks or so and see how the numbers look like.
What else, man?
Yeah.
What do you got happening?
This week, I'm finally looking forward to getting some rest, sort of, and being able to do a little bit of experimenting and playing around with stuff again. So I'm currently looking into static site generators, and we're thinking about moving our entire website to a static site generator.
Yeah.
Because right now it's on WordPress, and while that makes it easy for Jane to edit stuff and author stuff, it feels like a behemoth and just very, very slow. So I started looking into that. We're also thinking about rolling our knowledge base into the website itself, because we're also not super happy with the way the knowledge base is managed in Help Scout. That always feels a little bit clunky. And it's honestly like editing code is a pain, and editing tables is a pain. And we'd rather have this in Markdown or something like that, where where it's just easier search replace and stuff like that. And I think it would also be good in terms of SEO, because then it's not in a subdomain anymore, but all in one, like all on the root domain. And I mean, at least in theory, that should help with SEO a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking into this week. Promising results so far. I haven't shown Jane yet. She has to sign off on it as well, of course. But we tried, I tried a Netlify CMS on top of Middleman, and that's really impressive because Middleman is a static site generator. It works with the WordPress files and YAML files, and then Netlify sits on top of that and basically manage all those files in GitHub. Like it directly interfaces with the GitHub API and creates pull requests and stuff like that. And at least from my point of view, that's like a dream setup. Because then we get all the benefits of like having Git in there for the history and the branches, and with if we deploy the website on Netlify, we get the preview branches and preview deploys, and that, at least to me, feels like a really powerful setup. Let's see what Jane has to say about that.
So ProjectHeadlamp.com is a Jekyll site on Netlify, and BrianRay.com is a Statamic site on DigitalOcean. And deploying that Jekyll, deploying to Netlify is the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah. It's really great. We already use it for the Userlist UI. That's a static single page application, and it's just great to be able to just git push and get it up there. Cool. Talking about Headlamp, what's new with you?
Man, yes, continuing kind of in a flurry of activity, from last week. I feel so the thing that I wanted to just go ahead and launch with is, the ability for managers to add their team members to schedule meetings and recurring meetings with them to create an agenda that both user and or both manager and attendee can see, for each of them to have private notes, takeaways, etc. Um, and I think the one final piece of that is I want to have like one baseline survey that the app sends, um, once per week. And so, and I mean, I have on the list like Zoom and Google Meet integration. Do I have to have that to launch? Probably not. Does it make it much more likely that it integrates with their existing workflow? Yes, but kind of already getting off on a trail there. But I mean, the user management is in a great place. Multiple roles, managers can invite people. They sign in, the account is created with a token, blah 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 blah. That all works really good. I'm doing trying to do a couple things with time zone on sign up and account creation to get that recorded out of the gate.
Poor you.
um Say what? Poor
Poor
me.
you. Yeah.
Y- well, yeah, it that that feels like it could potentially be a full-time job, just thinking through how are we gonna do time zones? Um, Gosh, first of all, the world just needs to get rid of daylight savings time, and it would get at least marginally easier.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, what else? And, the meeting scheduling feels like it's actually in a pretty good place. There's a good, gym called Ice Cube that
Mhm.
pretty fairly easily let me be able to say, "Do you wanna meet daily? Do you wanna meet weekly?" If weekly on Mondays and Thursdays, cool. You wanna meet every month on the 1st Tuesday of the month, every other month on the 3rd Friday of the month, like, uh, allows for all of those things. So there's a good UI in place, or there's a usable UI in place for all of that. I got a mailer wired up, and so it is sending, emails to somebody when they get an invitation, to the manager when there's a meeting, to the attendee when there's a meeting, etc. Haven't tested that part of it in production yet, but it's at least like firing off those mailers.
Mhm.
Um, so all of that functionality is in place. It does not look like an app right now because I have just resisted the temptation to do any design work at all. Um,
Mhm.
and so it has just looked super ugly, and I just like built like myself, a very ugly looking dashboard, at the root URL, so that I could see, as the user that who I've logged in as. Okay, cool. Here are all their team members. Here are their upcoming meetings, et cetera, et cetera. So now I kind of I'm in this place now of okay, how much more of this functionality do I want to finish up, or do I want to write a good spec for cron jobs? Like maybe that's not something that I want to do.
Mhm.
um, and yeah, it has felt like it's really come along, and I can feel now that I'm you know at the end of the getting 0 to 80% super fast, and then the final 20% takes twice as long as the first 80%.
Yeah.
Um, but what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so yesterday afternoon, for the first time, I put like an application, shell in place in the design from Tailwind UI, and already regret it because it immediately made me start thinking about colors and messing with colors. And I just don't need to give a crap about that just yet. So
Yeah, yeah.
I might pull that out just to keep myself from getting distracted. Um, but yeah, man, that's where it is at. I need to give myself a goal for, you know, what is finished. Um,
Mhm.
and putting some of these things, on the other side of that dividing line, because
Nice.
I could just kind of keep experimenting and tinkering and playing with it.
Are you still building this as a Slack application, or are you basically disconnecting it from that aspect and making a standalone thing?
Yeah, disconnecting it from Slack and making it a base, like foundationally a Rails application that could have a Slack integration, could have will have a Zoom integration, Google Meet integration, probably Calendly, etc. I think, good something that I need to commit to before next week is to actually, my goal is to have a goal. This functionality will let me launch this other stuff I can hold off on. But anyway, I've been really happy with how much of it, especially like all of the back end stuff that I've been able to understand and do myself. Um, and it is to the point now though where it's like, am I the one to write the OAuth integration with Zoom, or outsource just that little job and then be able to understand it enough to read it and interact with it, and that would be a much better use of my time and money. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with cron jobs and setting up Capistrano and all this other like stuff. It's like, I don't.
Where are you planning to run this?
Heroku, unless
Then you
you
probably
slap me
don't.
in the face and tell me different. Like,
You probably don't need cron jobs nor
oh,
Capistrano. So
okay. So let me tell you why I think I need cron jobs. Is that okay, let's say I create a meeting with you every Thursday. Okay, every Thursday at 8 p.m. my time. um, then that meeting has an attribute on it called recurrence, and that's like a YAML description that IceCube then uses to say, okay, cool. So here are the dates of those future meetings, but that meeting occurrence does not have a record in the database
mm,
that could
yeah,
then
okay.
have an agenda, takeaways, et cetera, et cetera. And so my thinking is, oh, okay, so I need to like nightly run a cron job that actually creates those meeting occurrences for, tomorrow or for all of next week, however I decide to do it, so that then they exist in the database.
Yeah, that part
Is that
makes
right?
sense.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just thinking like Heroku has this like add-on around actual cron jobs that's called Heroku
Okay.
Scheduler, and that just
Okay.
you can you can give it a rake task and just tell it to run it once a day or once per hour, and it will
Okay.
just do
Cool.
that. So you don't have to figure out actual cron to get this up and running. Just
Yes.
just
Okay.
write a just write a small script that
Yep.
I don't know reads the
Okay.
meetings table and then creates new instances from that. Just
Mm-hmm.
a simple for each loop, whatever,
Yep.
and that's it.
All right.
So shouldn't take
Cool. So
that
that's
much time.
all right. Well, so that's what I will look into that for sure. So I create rake tasks that will look for an upcoming meeting, create an occur that, and then the rake task can create an occurrence of that. Same thing with, and in that same rake task or a related one, send an email to those participants, but that would also be in the rake task. And then Heroku scheduler will
Yeah,
run
we'll
that
just
task
run
on a
that.
schedule.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, cool. All right. Well, then,
Or if
yeah,
you want to
maybe
go like more advanced, we're using Sidekick for background jobs, and
yep.
there's a gem called Sidekick Scheduler or Sidekick Cron or something like that, and that
Mhm.
basically lets you create recurring tasks in Sidekick, and that will just run those background jobs in the specified intervals that you set up.
Cool.
That works well for us.
Okay. Sweet, man. I will that yeah, already that feels okay. That is something that I can do and will build.
Like
The
doing
so
the
the
all stuff with Slack and such, like that sounds like good thing to outsource.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel that there's a part of me, I think the part of me that's wanting to to do it is so that I intrinsically understand it. And so that if I want to change something about it or do it, do another one in the future, that I would, wouldn't be completely in the dark. Okay.
Makes
so
sense.
Yeah, man, that's gosh, it feels like a whole lot of progress. And I am feeling the itch to just like, okay, just put the final touches on the functionality so that somebody could use it and just put it in the hands of a couple friendlies. And I think I could get there pretty quick.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm super excited. Finally, some movement.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, finally is the right word. And also, I think it just, you have to go. There's no shortcuts. There are no shortcuts.
Yeah, unfortunately not.
Yeah, had to go through it to get here. So, let's see. Yeah, there was one other piece of it that I wanted to talk about, but I'll hold off and we can talk about it next week. Because we're getting to a good length here.
Yeah.
Anything else we didn't talk about that you want to
mention? No, nothing important. Let's see what comes out of this week of experimentation and researching and stuff like that. Maybe we have some more exciting news to share next week. Well, more exciting news. We just launched in-app messages. So what's more exciting than that?
Yeah. Yes. Everybody go to Product Hunt and upvote Userlist.
Yeah. Should hopefully still be on the front page somewhere.
Yeah. Product Hunt.
Yeah. Okay then. Talk to you next week.
Great talking. Yep, as always. Talk later.
Bye.
Bye.